I was thinking that sensor delay, so if we say anything we shouldn't, it can get cut before it's on YouTube.
Somebody can beep us, right? Bleep.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
I was thinking that sensor delay, so if we say anything we shouldn't, it can get cut before it's on YouTube.
Somebody can beep us, right?
Oh wait, that's my YouTube. Sorry. Okay. Do not have YouTube up at the same time.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
I was thinking
Wait,
that
that's not
sensor
me.
delay, so if we say anything we shouldn't, it can get cut before it's on YouTube.
Somebody can
Why
beep
is
us,
it
right?
Oh wait,
recording?
that's my YouTube. Because
Sorry.
somebody has two windows. Has a YouTube window up. Do not
So
have
the
YouTube up at the same
camera,
time.
the computer's picking up both audios.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
I was
For some
thinking
reason, I can't get the
that
link on my
sensor
phone.
delay,
It-
so
it-
if we say anything
that
we shouldn't,
right? It keeps
can get
saying
cut
the
before it's
video
on
has been
YouTube.
removed.
Somebody can
Why
beep
is
us,
it
right?
recording?
That's my YouTube. Because
Sorry.
somebody has two windows. Has a YouTube window up.
Miss
Do not
Vittori,
have
I'm going to
YouTube
text
up
it
at
to
the
you.
same
Let's
time.
just make sure you have the
Computer's
right
picking up
link.
both audios.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
I was
For some
thinking
reason,
that
I can't
that
get the
sensor
link on my
delay,
phone.
so
It-
if we say
Whose
anything we
YouTube
shouldn't,
we're hearing?
right? It keeps
can get
saying
cut
the
before it's
video
on
has been
YouTube.
removed.
Somebody can
Why
beep
is
us,
it
right?
recording?
That's my YouTube. Because
Sorry.
somebody has two windows. Has a YouTube window up.
Miss
Do not
Vittori,
have
I'm going to
YouTube
text
up
it
at
to
the
you.
same
Let's
time.
just make sure you have the
Computer's
right
picking up
link.
both audios.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
Does anybody
some
have
reason, I can't
YouTube
get the link
on
on my
their,
phone. It-
have
Whose
YouTube up
we're
in the
hearing?
same device
keeps
that they're
saying
using the
the
Google
video
Meet
has
on?
been removed.
Somebody can
Why
beep
is
us,
it
right?
recording?
That's my YouTube.
Because
Sorry.
Just 'cause we're hearing it
Windows
twice,
has
that's
a
all.
YouTube window up.
Miss
Do not
Vittori,
have
I'm going to
YouTube
text
up
it
at
to
the
you.
same
Let's
time.
just make sure you have the
Computer's
right
picking up
link.
both audios.
I was thinking that sensor.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 10-second delay.
Does anybody
some
have
reason, I can't
YouTube
get the link on
on
my phone.
their,
Mr. Soto, just to be
have
clear, that
YouTube up in the
parents
same
reach
device that they're
saying,
using
"Hey,
the
click
Google
on it
Meet
now,"
on?
they should be able to access
Somebody
it.
can
Why
beep
is
us,
it
right?
recording?
That's my YouTube.
Just
Sorry.
'cause we're hearing it
Windows
twice,
has
that's
a
all.
YouTube window
Because
up.
Miss
I got
Vittori,
a
I'm
few
going to text it to you.
emails that
Let's
we
just
were
make
not
sure you
able
have the
to
right link
access
of both
the
audios.
link. But then I tried and it worked fine.
There's a 10-second
Does
delay.
anybody have
So we need to
YouTube
figure out
on
who's
So,
their,
Mr. Soto, just to be
have
clear,
YouTube
that
up in the
parents
same
reach
device that they're
saying,
using
"Hey,
the
click
Google
on it
Meet
now,"
on?
they should be able to access it.
Somebody
Why
can
is
beep
it
us,
recording?
right?
That's my YouTube.
Just
Sorry.
'cause we're hearing it
Windows
twice,
has
that's
a
all.
YouTube window
Okay, in about 10 seconds, you will let me know if the echo is gone. And make sure it's still showing up on YouTube. Mine is.
Hi, Tova.
Hi.
Okay, in about 10 seconds, you will let me know if. Okay, it's no echo, which is good. So I guess it was because my YouTube was on the other monitor that it threw it off, but I think we're good now.
Woo!
Okay. Should I start?
I think you're good.
Okay, let me record. Thanks, Sister Soto. Okay. I'm going to wait till it starts recording. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome, class of 2024. Welcome to the unofficial start of the school year. We are so excited to have everyone on. And this also starts for incoming freshmen, this also starts our week of Freshman Connection. We have a really great morning planned for you. We have a few speakers who are going to introduce you to the start of the school year. We have a couple of our parents on who are going to introduce you to some of our parent organizations and ways you can get involved. And then we also have representatives from our Freshman Mentors organization here. And also we have students here who are going to talk to you a little bit about their experience and their transition to Whitney Young. So just a few introductions before we begin. My name is Ms. Batari, the admissions director. I'm also a counselor here at Whitney Young. I counsel the 7th and 8th grade Academic Center students, and I'm also the Academic Center director. We have Miss Arlene Chin, who is the president of the Friends of Whitney Young organization. We have Miss Boki Graven, who is the chairperson of the local school council. We have Eddie Armstrong, Lila Aspen, and we have Joya Canning, who are joining us. They are on the executive board of the Freshman Mentor organization. They're going to come on in just a few minutes and explain a little bit about who the Freshman Mentors are. Some of you may have received a phone call welcoming you into Whitney Young, and feel free to reach out to your mentors if you have any questions. We also will later, of course, have Dr. Kenner on. She will give you your official welcome to Whitney Young and welcome to the school year. We have a couple of our leadership team members. I'm really excited to have them on. We haven't had them on before, but I think they're going to give you a really great introduction as to what to expect and some of our school policies and procedures. We have Miss Overham, who is our attendance coordinator. We have Miss Melton, who is our counseling department director and also counselor, really fabulous counselor. Miss Davis, former counselor and now dean of students. And we have Mr. Soto here, who is one of our assistant principals, and he is the person who coordinates all of our technology. So Mr. Soto, thank you for coordinating this event today and all of the work that you put in. And then hopefully Mr. Swanson will also join us. So before we get started, I have a couple of announcements from Dr. Bloland. As most of you know, the incoming freshman connection starts tomorrow and runs through Friday. And your classroom freshman orientation and connection will run from 10 a.m. to noon, Tuesday through Friday. She will be sending all of our incoming freshmen who signed up for Freshman Connection 2 links this afternoon. One is going to be a link for your first period class, your 10 a.m. class. The second link is going to be a link to your 11 a.m. class. So please be on the lookout for those. If you don't get a link by about 7 p.m. tonight, you may want to send Dr. Bloland an email. If you have not signed up for that, you are more than welcome to still do so. I've sent the application out, but that's also available on wyoung.org on the incoming freshman webpage. Please fill that out if you still want to join us. And I think it's going to be a really great week. And then before we begin, again, reminder that school starts on September 8th. Chicago Public Schools is following a remote learning platform, and Dr. Kenner or Mr. Swanson later on this morning will give you some more information on how Whitney Young will structure the remote learning platform. Later on this week, students, you may see that your classes will go live on Aspen, probably Thursday or Friday, okay? Questions about your schedule will be directed to the counseling department staff when school starts the week of September 8th. At this point, we are not able to make any changes to the schedule unless there is an error. So unless a student is not assigned a class period and you also have a lunch period, or you have 2 classes scheduled during the same period, those are errors. Unfortunately, you cannot change. For instance, if you are taking let's say drawing and painting, and now you want to request, you'd like to request mixed media, we cannot make those changes. Classes have been filled and staffed, and so at this point, we don't have any space available. So again, just so you know, though you may see that later on this week, and any questions on the first week of school, we can address those questions then or on your registration day. Okay, and later on this morning, again, we will address some more remote learning questions and content. For now, we're going to move on with our program, and I'd like to introduce again Miss Arlene Chin, who is the president of the Friends of Whitney Young organization.
Great, thanks, Ms. Patari. Hi, everyone. My name is Arlene Chin. I have a rising sophomore named Cole, who you'll meet later today, and a rising junior named Jackson. I am so excited that you have all committed to joining the Whitney Young community. I was in your shoes last year and the year before, so I know how exciting it can be. So I want to warmly welcome all of you. And even during this, very trying 2020, it's still a very exciting time, and I hope you feel the excitement as you begin your journey at Whitney Young. A little bit about Friends of Whitney Young. We are an all-volunteer organization with the mission to build community among our students, families, administrators, faculty, and alumni, as well as fundraise through a variety of events and campaigns to support and enhance both the academic and extracurricular programs at Whitney Young. In a nutshell, we're here to support the Whitney Young community, which you are all a part of. There is no membership to Friends of Whitney Young. By default, you are all part of Friends of Whitney Young because you are a friend of Whitney Young High School. We are made up of parents and students and managed mostly by committee. Our committees are made up of the following. We have an alumni committee, an annual funds and grants committee, communications. We have a community committee, development, and then we have a student committee as well that liaises for Friends of Whitney Young back to the student community. And then we have also administrative type committees like nomination and bylaws. I mentioned that we host a wide range of events and campaigns, some of which include our annual fund. Our theme this year is reopening, reinvest, and recommit. Hopefully you all have received some information about that in the past couple weeks. We also host our largest parent event called the Spring Bash, which will be hosted this year on March 20th, either virtually or hopefully in person, as well as other events like we participate in Giving Tuesday, we have an annual fund, and with the LSC, we co-host Hot Topics, and we also co-host the open house with the administration. Some easy things that you can do to support your new school and Friends of Whitney Young is, 1, visit our school store. You can find that on the Whitney Young homepage. 2, if you shop on Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile, designate Friends of Whitney Young as your benefactor for Amazon Smile. And 3, most importantly, read the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter, the weekly newsletter. It's important that you stay up to date on things that are going on, and that is one of our main communication outlets to the community, as well as our Facebook group. We host monthly meetings every second Wednesday of the month. You will be able to find out information on how to sign up for our September meeting coming up. We hope that you could join us there so you can learn all about our events, our campaigns, and how you can help us as well. Lastly, we have a website, friendsofwhitneyyoung.org. which you can find information on. And some exciting news about that website is we are revamping. So there will be a new look and feel to that website in the coming weeks, and we hope that it will provide a good outlet for you to get involved. So again, welcome. I am so excited for you, and I can't wait to meet all of you, hopefully in person someday soon. Thanks, Ms. Batari.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Next, we have Ms. Boki Graven, who is the chairperson of our local school council.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Whitney Young. I want to let you know how excited we are to have you here on behalf of the whole local school council. I have had 2 kids attend Whitney Young. My daughter, Ella, is a rising senior, and my son, Quinn, graduated 2 years ago, and he's just starting his sophomore year now at University of Illinois. So to all the other parents here today, I want to tell you something important, and that's that the high school years go by quickly, very quickly. You're going to blink, and that kid sitting next to you is going to be graduating from Whitney Young. So I want to tell you a little bit about what you can do as a parent to make the most of it. Get involved. There are a number of ways for parents to be invested in this school, and Arlene just talked about some of them with Friends of Whitney Young. So we want you to join us. We want you here, and we need you here. And no matter what you're interested in or what your skills are, there is a meaningful way that you can get involved. And when you do, you're going to meet people from all over the city. You'll make friends, and you'll build a support system that's going to help you navigate the high school years. One really easy way to get involved is to just come to an LSC meeting. We have one every month, and students, parents, and teachers all are welcome to attend, and they do. At every meeting, you'll find out the latest news affecting the school, and we always have presentations at every meeting from a student or student group and from a teacher or an organization at school administrator, just about the interesting things that they're working on. So you'll always learn something new and interesting, and it's a great way to feel connected to the school and to your student. You can also attend one of our hot topic discussions, which Arlene mentioned.
I think Ms. Boki Graven's internet tapped out a little bit. I guess I'll kind of close out the hot topics discussion, which is an event that we host in conjunction with the LSC, where we talk about various topics of interest to parents and students, some of which last year were introduction into vaping. We also talked about safety and traveling, like public safety and traveling to and from school, those sort of things. So we partner with the LSC to bring, topics that are of interest and of importance to our parents to it within that forum. And then again, I'll just stress that the LSC meetings are really a great way to learn about the school. Both the parent organizations, we have a student component to those meetings, so which is a kind of a little bit different than what you might have experienced in the elementary school setting.
Thank you, Ms. Chen and Ms. Boki Graven. And if she comes back on, she will be back on later, but if she has anything to finish discussing with you, she will do that during the parent panel session. Okay, thank you both. And we are very lucky at Whitney Young to have such supportive parent groups. Again, parents, we want you to be involved. So as much as you can, please follow along with the LS Local School Council and Friends of Whitney Young meeting dates and join what you can. Okay, so next we have Eddie Armstrong and we have Joya Canning, who are 2 of our executive board members of the Freshman Mentor Organization. They are going to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about our mentor organization and, how we can help students transition to Whitney Young.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm Eddie. I am the president of Freshman Mentors. And the goal of Freshman Mentors is to just be that first line of contact for your new student and to be a peer that they know they can speak to. We hope to make it like a really smooth transition. We understand that high school is really a new, like, big wide world for like these students. And as a president of Freshman Mentors, I've been in this club for 3 years. I was a freshman myself. I know what it's like to be that wide-eyed freshman that's scared of the building. So typically, we would have a lot more events for you guys to get to know us. We'd have Iron's Oaks, and we'd have like the barbecue. But you know, in the times we live in, those are like kind of impossible. But we will strive to still like make contact with you all like every month throughout like our school year. And hopefully when we return, you'll get a lot more time with us in person. You would always come to us with any questions you have, me, myself, or like Joya, or everybody will get their own personal set of mentors, which will be like a lot easier to contact. And we're really excited for you guys to join us.
Hi, I'm Joya, and I'm the Secretary of Freshman Mentors. I want to thank Eddie for the introduction. And I just want to really emphasize that you guys can come to us with any questions or anything you may need, and we are so excited to have you. We have started reaching out with phone calls, so our freshman mentors are all assigned calls to the freshmen. So you guys should have started receiving them, and if you haven't, then you will in the coming week. I think we're all supposed to be done with them by Tuesday, so you will be contacted shortly by your personal freshman mentor.
You know, that's true.
Again, thank you so much, and we're so excited to have you.
So that's for like special occasions.
Okay. Thank you, Eddie and Joya, and thank you for your hard work. So students, if you haven't received a phone call yet, stay close to your phones, check your emails. You should be checking your CPS email frequently every day now that you're starting Freshman Connection, so that your mentor can contact you. And again, if you have any questions, do not be afraid to reach out to them. We're hoping that even during remote learning, that we will have an advisory or homeroom period so that we can do some SEL activities, some social emotional learning activities, and you can do some work with your mentors. So again, thank you to the freshman mentors, and students, don't be afraid to reach out. So to continue the introduction to our school, next we have Miss Overham. She is a wonderful member of our leadership team and a wonderful resource. She's going to talk to you a little bit about our attendance.
Attendance policy, you will not necessarily be subjected to that right away just because of the specifics of the current situation. I will tell you a little bit about that, but I will also let you know what's expected of you now. So again, for high school attendance, you will be marked absent, present every class period, every day. Now, just to put it in perspective, as your grades are important now for the rest of your high school, will be reported on your transcripts and will be as important for your freshman year, for your senior year. Same is true for your attendance. So your attendance will be reported to your college, and obviously as such is going to matter for maybe showing your character, your responsibility, the fact that you are here every day for every class. So please keep it in mind. And of course, succeeding in school, in high school, depends on you being in class every day for every class. So a bit about our policies. Students are expected to be in class unless there's a reason for you to miss half a day or full day of classes. Each time you miss, by the way, you are not allowed to miss a class in the middle of the school day. That would be considered cut. So if you need to miss a day of school, beginning of the day or end of the day for a reason that's verified by your parent, we will need some way of in letting us know that parents are actually excusing your absence. This will be different now, and these policies will be sent to you. I hope all the parents are reporting their email addresses to the school, because we will need all of them to update you on the school policies. Obviously, the same information will be sent to students. Ordinarily, we need parents to report excuse for an absence in writing to the school. Certainly, this is not possible now, so we will let you know about the new policy for the remote learning excusing absences. So there are valid reasons for student absence, and there are very few of them. Part of those reasons are obviously anything that has to do with student health, mental or physical, but also family emergencies and such. The list of valid reasons will be mailed to you. Other than that, for the current situation, for your staying in front of your computer for class, this is equally important that you participate in every class. Teachers will be taking attendance and reporting it, so please make sure that you are here, but also every student is assigned an account in a student portal where you can monitor your grades but also your attendance. So just to double check, just to make sure that you are marked correctly, I will ask that you check that you are marked present for all of the classes where you attended, and contact your teacher if there is an issue with you being marked present versus absent. You will again hear more from me via email. So if there are any questions, any further things that need to be explained or clarified, please email me, and I will be glad to speak to each of you separately. Again, happy to have you here, happy and excited for the new school year, although different than usual, and I will speak to you all individually as needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Overham. That was so helpful. Next, we have our counseling department chairperson, Ms. Melvin, who will give you an introduction to Whitney Young Counseling and Support Services. Ms. Melton, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be presenting my screen. So let me switch over to that, but I just wanted you to get to see my face. All right, so I believe everybody should be able to see my screen now. Okay, so welcome again to Whitney Young. I wanted to put up here the names of all of the members of our counseling department that service our grade 9 students. So you will have the opportunity to make contact with the counselors once the school year starts in early September. But I also just wanted to put the email addresses up there so that you guys would have that to access as well. Every freshman is assigned to a counselor, and they have the same counselor for grades 9 through graduation. And we are generalists, meaning that we work with students for every component of their high school experience, whether it be through their academic needs, their college planning, career research, all of those things fall under our umbrella. Since we are remote, email is going to be the absolute go-to. If you want to send an email, students, we will get back to you really quickly. We could arrange to do a Google Meet so that we could have a conversation. Parents, we can also respond to emails from you, arrange to do a Google Meet with you as well. Obviously, things look a little bit different when we're in person. I included a picture of our office. That's the front of our office where we have a parent volunteer who greets students, and students are able to stop down with or without an appointment to come and see their counselor, and parents can make an appointment to come in and meet with us face-to-face as well. So if we are able to return to in-person later this school year, things will look a little bit different. But for right now, email is going to be the most efficient way to contact us, and we can go with further communication from there. So, one of the big things that counselors end up working with students and families is when the student starts to run into some hiccups. And the big thing that all the counselors really wanted me to echo today is that if you are needing help, please ask for it. We are not mind readers. We don't have the luxury of getting to see you in the hall or check in with you face to face. So we really need you guys as parents and students to let us know if there's something that you're struggling with. The teacher is also a great, asset and person that you as a student should really reach out to. So if you're having trouble in a class, please make contact with the teacher. We also will have some online resources available for students as far as figuring out ways that we could get tutoring, extra support. So we can definitely help navigate how to identify and how to utilize those resources. And parents, we can also set up conferences to help you make connections with the teachers. There are some other supports that are in place at Whitney Young. You may hear the term MTSS, which is a multi-tiered student support system. And so typically students who are identified by teachers as struggling could be referred to this group. And students who have a D or an F at progress report or report card, they also may be referred to this group. I know last spring, and I imagine it will happen again this school year, Ms. Overham headed up a committee that was reaching out to families if the student was not actively engaging in remote learning. We also here at Whitney Young have a school social worker, a case manager, and school psychologists that are able to help serve students as well. So just being reflective of last spring, what were the things that really helped students be the most successful? Students, the email is so key. I think that it's a great habit to get into at the beginning of your day to check all of your things. Check your email, check your Google Calendar, look at your classrooms for each of your classes and your advisory, and just see, are there any new announcements, any new updates? Whitney Young, you should get a planner when you come for registration. So if you're more of a fan of paper and pencil, I cannot wait to get my new planner for this school year. The planner is going to be, a useful tool for keeping track of those daily assignments that get assigned and also long-term assignments. Ms. Overham was mentioning the expectation is to attend each class meeting, but if something happens where you're sick, maybe you had an internet outage, make sure that you email your teachers. Make sure that your teachers know what's going on with you so that they can make adjustments, they can get you caught up. And I put study on here. I think this is always part of that transition to being in high school, that we have students who have not had to study previously. So we'll do some support as a department around study skills. Even this upcoming week, if you're attending the Freshman Connection, the counselors will do some things with study skills, and executive functioning, just to get you set up for success. We, as a counseling department, will also work with students in group settings. So we will typically do lessons that are maybe recorded that we'll email out to the freshman students, or we might collaborate with a teacher to join during the classroom lesson time. We'll also be a part of your advisory. So if your advisory is having a Google Meet, it's very possible your counselor will join there. We typically collaborate with the health classes to do some programming specifically around mental health. And we, in person, the freshmen come together in the theater once every 6 weeks. But with us being remote, we'll have the luxury of coming together more often, or as I mentioned, doing those recorded lessons. I just want to give a quick plug for Naviance. If you are coming from a Chicago public school, you might have done some stuff with Naviance in grades 6, 7, and 8. We do continue to do Naviance for the next 4 years. Students have access to it just by clicking on the link that you see pictured there, and they use their same login that they would for their CPS email. And the great thing about Naviance is there's just a lot of different, great things that are at the students' fingertips, whether it be doing some research about careers, maybe they want to start looking ahead to college stuff. We use it to do some goal setting and some things about keeping track of high school graduation requirements. So we'll definitely be doing some stuff with Naviance this school year. Just because I mentioned graduation requirements, I wanted to put this up there for everybody to see. These are the graduation requirements for every Chicago public school high school student. So you can see that students will be able to meet all of these. It's a total of 24 credits by taking 6 classes each year. So a lot of you guys will be getting 1/4 or maybe even more of your graduation requirements done by the end of this school year. One thing that changes in high school is we introduce this concept of a transcript. And so the transcript is your permanent record, and that's what ultimately will get submitted for things like college applications. The transcript is only going to show the semester grades. So that's going to be the grades that happen at the end of January and in June. It is the official document. We always share copies of the transcript with students so that they can make sure that everything on there is as expected. It's going to show things like attendance, which Ms. Overham mentioned. It's going to show the cumulative GPAs, and it's a way to keep track, again, of the graduation requirement. So you're going to get a progress report about 5 weeks into the school year. You're going to get a report card in November. Those are things that are great opportunities for you to monitor where you are. It's a chance for you to get to see what improvements or changes you need to make, because again, the permanent record, the only grades that are going to be seen after you leave high school are going to be the semester grades which appear on the transcript. I mentioned weighted GPA, so just to show this really quickly, we have leveled classes. So some of those classes are regulars, honors, and AP. And because honors and AP have more rigor, students do get a GPA bump as a benefit of taking those harder classes. So a student that earns an A in an honors class, it's going to get weighted as a 5 in their weighted GPA, and an A in an AP class is going to get weighted as a 6. So you have a snippet of a transcript. So this kind of just gives a quick look at what the transcript looks like, and it shows the grade. And then it shows at the bottom the semester weighted GPA. So just looking at these grades, this was the GPA for the semester. And then you'll also be able to see things like the cumulative GPA over here. And I did the little math down here, but I guess I'm covering it up with my screen. But you just are basically adding the points together to get the GPA. Okay, I know that I've been talking for almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up by just mentioning a couple other highlights. Remember that your time at Whitney Young, the academics are super important, but we want to also develop you as a total individual. And so that means having interests outside of the academics. That might mean participating in a sport, it might be doing clubs, it might be volunteering, it might be being involved in some community organizations or your church. So there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of shape yourself outside of the classroom. This fall, there are going to be some ways for students to be connected to extracurricular activities, maybe virtually, maybe in person. So students, I really encourage you that if there's something that works for you to please take advantage, because then I think it'll really help you feel connected to Whitney Young and help you build more relationships with your peers and with the staff. And I'm just mentioning this, again, thinking ahead to college applications, since we are a college preparatory school. You know, colleges are going to want to see that students have involved themselves in more than just the classwork. And so we want you guys to be thinking about, what are you passionate about? What are things that you feel like you can commit to for all 4 years? Are there things that you already have been doing that you can continue with? There's some special skills that maybe you have. Service learning, the way that it looks now at CPS is that there are students who choose to do extra, and those are recorded as volunteer hours. As far as the graduation requirements, students do 2 projects in their biology and then in their civics classes. Since we are virtual, those service projects might look a little different, or maybe they'll happen in the spring when maybe things have changed and developed a little bit more. But it's possible that for students that are involved in a biology class and enrolled in a civics class, you might complete both of your service learning requirements this school year. I know that our parents have already done a great job talking about Hot Topics. Hot Topics does liaise with us in the counseling department. We've already been planning 2 Hot Topics coming up for the fall, one of them on gender diverse youth and the other talking about college in the time of COVID-19. So we advertise those in the weekly, and I just want to give a plug, make sure that both parents and students should sign up for the weekly. As a counseling department, we also put out a counseling newsletter, not as often as the weekly, about once every 2 to 3 weeks that comes out, where we're compiling all of the most recent news from the counseling department. So if you subscribe to the weekly, you would automatically get those as well. All right, so I'm just putting the email addresses up here one more time, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing my screen for all of you so that we can get out of there. And then I just wanted to come back on face-to-face to thank you all for your attention, and you'll be seeing lots of emails from me. So I look forward to working with all of you in the next coming weeks and the next 4 years. Thank you so much, Ms. Batari.
Thank you, Ms. Melton. You did a fantastic job. She provided some really fantastic information, and again, the counseling department will go into greater detail with some of the things that Ms. Melton discussed a little later. And students are assigned to their counselor, I think Ms. Melton touched on this, by their advisory number. So once students receive their schedule and they know what their advisory number is, then we will send an additional list out to you to let you know which counselor is assigned to which advisory. So again, Ms. Melton, thank you so very much for that. That was a great intro, just like Ms. Overham gave us to Whitney Young. And so next we wanted to introduce you to our Dean of Students and our AP coordinator, Advanced Placement Coordinator, Ms. Tamika Davis. And so not only is she going to talk to you a little bit about school policies and procedures, but also maybe give some students who are assigned for AP classes for the fall a little intro to that, what you can expect, and then talk a little bit about how to get involved with some clubs and activities. Ms. Davis, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Hello, class of 2024. I am Ms. Davis. I'm the Dean of Students. And a little bit about me, I've been at Whitney Young for 10 years. I started in the counseling office, but before that, I was in Division 413 at Whitney Young, And you can guess what my 4 was for. Was it for 84, 94, 2004, 2014? You get to guess. But welcome, everybody. So as Dean of Students, one of my main jobs is discipline, but I want everyone to know that I'm also a resource in the building. So all members of the school community have access to the rights and responsibilities. It's a handbook that if you've been in Chicago Public Schools prior to coming here to Whitney Young, all students get a handbook that's the Code of Conduct. Now it is called the Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. So that's something that I use in conferences with students if they are referred to my office. If you're referred to my office, it's typically after some intervention in the classroom or something like that. And if it needs to be escalated to a little bit more, then you'll see me. But basically what I can tell you is Whitney Young is your home away from home, even though I guess now it's your home in home. Well, we're all remote learning, but when you come to the building, it is your home away from home. And we just want you to kind of follow the same way that you would follow rules at home, right? You want to treat everyone respectfully. We want to be kind to one another. We want to focus on our academics. And you'll hear this from Dr. Kenner. Focus on your academics, have some fun, and everyone be prepared for college. That's really what we're looking for. But if we have some missteps and we need a little correction, then sometimes you'll have to see me. I have a few notes here, so I'm trying to check what I've written down. So sometimes students are referred to my office by their teacher, or sometimes a student may have something that they feel is important that I know about that's happening in the classroom, in the hall room, in the hallway, or in the lunchroom. So students are welcome to speak with me, and then we try and problem solve and figure out how everyone can be comfortable in school, okay? What I really just mentioned right now is like the simple way of things, right? We want to treat everyone respectfully and kindly. If we don't, then we can refer to our student handbook. But I want you to know that it is not as simple as that. Like I mentioned, I am from the counseling department. Every conference, I like to hear everyone's side of the story. It's about conflict resolution. It's not so, I said discipline, correct, but it is also about learning from our mistakes, making corrections, and trying to do better in the future. I don't want anyone to feel that I'm someone that they need to avoid before or after a conference. Oftentimes in those conferences, we learn that maybe there is a disconnect, or there is a resource that a student may need to help them to make better decisions. And when we're in those conferences, that's when I am able to bring other members of the community in, if needed, to help that student to make better choices or to be equipped with the things they need so they can make those better choices. And I did mention again that students can refer or see me about anything that they need, and we can talk through it. So sometimes it may mean a conflict resolution with another student. This past school year, we introduced peer mediation. I expect that would continue. So everything isn't necessarily a punishment that looks like suspensions or expulsion. Sometimes the consequence is a conversation and figuring out how we can all be comfortable in school together. Okay? But something that I did want to mention, since we are all at home right now and we're connecting with one another through these different digital platforms, and I know as freshmen, this is starting very differently. We aren't meeting everyone in person. We still want to make sure that we are thoughtful before we are putting anything out on social media or even within group text. And I just want you guys to just remember to pause before you post, okay? You have to remember that you may have an intended audience for whatever it is that you might be posting or chatting, but then that intended audience could grow to those who maybe you didn't necessarily intend to see it, and you still need to be mindful of what kind of message that is sending out. And I think as a general practice, if you pause before you post and really think, how would this be interpreted by someone beyond my original group that I meant to send this to? Be thoughtful about what you are posting and what you are putting out there, okay? There are still consequences for cyberbullying and other instances like that, and I want you all to be aware that we do take that very seriously, and we do follow the recommendations of the Rules and Responsibilities Handbook. Even while you are home, it is still something that we can have a conference about with family members, and of course we just want to curb it, but let's just not start it, okay? And I think that's it for me on the discipline part. So I'm also the AP coordinator, and so I work with all of the students along with the counseling department and the teachers to really help figure out a good AP course to start with, and if you've had a good experience, you can continue beyond that. Some freshmen have signed up for AP classes currently, but I guess I really wanted to say that it is an expectation that all students take at least one. It is a college level course, so it does require some of those study skills that Ms. Melton mentioned at a top level. So being able to use all of your resources, including your teacher, and spending the time that you need to be successful and have a full understanding of your subject area. But for parents, if you weren't aware, we do have, and students, we have AP classes in at least one in every subject area, including the fine arts, music, and several in art. But I'm a resource in the building to help students to navigate all of the things that are associated to taking an AP class, okay? And then clubs and activities. Now, I'm one piece of the clubs and activities, and when we're in the school building, I'm a little bit more of an active person who manages and coordinates how clubs and activities can utilize the space in our school building, be it for fundraising purposes, meeting spaces, and just decorating our school building, making their advertisements for whatever events they have going on, and helping them to spread the word about whatever may be going on with their clubs. But I wanted to say here to our freshmen that there are over 100 clubs and activities that students can join. And if you don't see one that you think matches your interests, then you are welcome to start one on your own. But I just want you to remember that we are a very diverse school, and everyone should be able to find something or some organization that they can connect with. And then beyond that, challenge yourself to find one that maybe you just had a little bit of a curiosity about, or maybe something that you had no idea about, so that we can kind of branch out and learn and meet and understand different points of view and different activities that are out there. So I think Ms. Melton mentioned, being the whole student, and something that you're interested in, continue. But I would challenge you to also look into clubs and activities that maybe you weren't sure that you were interested in, and you may find that you are. And I believe that was all that I had for you right now. So I thank you, and again, welcome to Whitney Young. Ms. Kotari?
Ms. Davis, thank you. That was a really great introduction to student activities and organizations, advanced placement classes, and also to some of our school policies and procedures. And again, hopefully on registration day, everyone was assigned a registration date and time. You will receive a school planner, which students, we hope that you use. We as faculty member use it every day to write all of the things down, and I'm sure your parents use a planner of some sort as well. We expect that you have some sort of organization tool, and we will give that to you on registration day. Well, we've given you a pretty comprehensive look at Whitney Young so far, and next we want to bring you Mr. Soto, who is one of our assistant principals, and he also coordinates our technology in the building, and he's going to give you a really great presentation on some of the technology that we will utilize throughout the year, and then also especially during remote learning. Hi, Mr. Soto.
Hello everyone. Today's probably not the best day to be the captain of technology initiatives at the district. I know some of you were a little frustrated getting online. So it's not really a mistake that any of you made. We actually had 2 streams that were simultaneously broadcasting, and so we stopped one of the connections. I know some of you connected through that connection and found yourselves with a black screen. So we apologize for that. It was not done on purpose. We're trying new things right now, and so this is one of those items that maybe didn't work out as planned. For those of you that want to know the background, we did not know how many users we anticipated this morning. We thought the number might be over 500. Those of you familiar with these technologies, these meeting technologies, know that there are limits, sometimes as low as 250, sometimes 500, and with a freshman class of 500 plus, we were afraid we were going to exceed that number. And so we decided we were going to stream it on YouTube. So we were going to simulcast a Google Meet and slideshow and then broadcast it through a YouTube channel. So again, those of you that were a little frustrated, we apologize. I know you feel like you lost a few minutes. Most of you got on. Last time I checked, there was 411 families that were connected. But for those of you that might have missed part of the meeting, we are going to make sure that you get the recorded video on our website. So Ms. Botari and I will work together to make sure that you have that information. With that said, I want to talk a little bit about what's happening with technology here at Whitney Young. We started the pandemic with something called remote learning, which was kind of a new term being used. Most of the time we heard things like distance learning. Now we were talking about remote learning. And very similar in terms of students will be learning from home. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the requirements that I would recommend now that learning is going to occur in the home. Most important, of course, I know you know this, but we'll just emphasize it again, is internet access. Because most of remote learning deals with a little bit of video conferencing, internet access of at least 25 megabits per second, I would say, is the minimum. Most internet providers offer more than that. But if you have multiple students at home and maybe you're doing some work from home, then of course you know that you would need something higher than that. Comcast, AT&T, and some hotspots can match that speed and exceed it. So just make sure that you have adequate internet access at home. With that said, Chromebooks or some type of device for students to connect are essential. This year we lowered school fees from a tradition of $500 to $300, and we did that for many reasons. One being that we knew the financial hit that COVID had put on our families. We thought that was an important time to lower our fees. And at the same time, we looked at it, it was an opportune time for parents to purchase a device for their child. Devices that are adequate start at $250 and rise to $1,000. If you have choice in the matter, I would recommend something with at least a 14-inch screen. Typically, those devices have higher resolution, so a student can see more on the screen at the same time. So maybe on one part of the screen they can have Google Meet, and on the other side they might have a document that they're trying to read for maybe a website. So I would recommend something with 14-inch higher if possible if you're purchasing it. We've had great success with the major technology companies that make these devices like Apple, Dell, HP, Lenovo. They're all available at your local markets, so please take advantage of that. And for those of you that were unlucky, were not able to get a device, or would like a loaner, we will make some available during registration. So on the day of registration, you'll see me there. You'll ask for a device, and we'll make sure you have what's needed in order to take advantage of remote learning. I'm excited to announce that again this year we are offering a paid service called Skillshare, which is a technology tutorial company. Those of you familiar with lynda.com will recognize that Skillshare.com is very similar. There are classes and everything from photography to programming to website design to how to write a business plan. Just about any software that you would like to learn, there are tons of tutorials, 24,000 classes in all on this site. Normally this site costs $20 a month. For the last 5 years, we have offered Skillshare and lynda.com to our students for free. So we ask that you take advantage of that. It's a great resource. Students will get an email with a link to click on to activate their account. Those accounts should be set up by later this week or early next week, so be on the lookout for it. You only have to activate it once, and from then on out you'll have access to this wonderful site. Parents, make sure to take advantage of this also. Use your child's login in order to see what's out there, what else you might want to learn and be skilled at. So take advantage of Skillshare. Most of you learned of our school through our main website, wyoung.org, and it's still a great resource to go in and out of. But once you are part of the family, I would recommend that you also take advantage of 3 other websites with tons of information. First one is The Weekly. The Weekly is just like it sounds, a weekly newsletter that's published typically on Sunday and lets you know the happenings at Whitney Young High School. Everything from accomplishment, news to know, calendar events, changes in a schedule. Mr. Swanson, one of our assistant principals, does a wonderful job of populating this newsletter, and it is usually packed with information. So make sure, if you haven't signed up yet and you're not receiving the weekly, make sure you go to wyoung.org/weekly and just fill in a few fields so that we can start sending out that newsletter to you. Those of you that want to view your child's grades or attendance want to make sure you get a parent portal account. Parent portal accounts are managed by the district, but you obtain your account through the school. So the easiest way to do that is to call the main office. Right now, the main office is open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you would have to authenticate that you are the parent of that child. So we'll ask you a few questions, and then we'll send you an email with the link so that you can create your own account. Please take advantage of this. It's a wonderful tool for parents to be able to follow what's happening in the child's classroom and make sure they have up-to-date information on their grade and attendance. And last but not least, you've read about mobile ID. This is how we distribute school fees and resources. Tons of information. Your child has access automatically using their student email as well as password. So the CPS issued username and password can be used. Simple as going to mobileidplus.com/WY for students, and /WY parent for parents. Those of you that don't have an account, don't know what I'm talking about, should call the main office again, 773-534-7500, and request an account. All these accounts are separate. They're managed differently. There's different databases that manage this information. I wish this was all under one username and password. It isn't. But it's something that is, once you get the hang of it, you'll know where to go for all bits of information. And those of you that can follow us on social media, those are our handles on the right-hand side there. Make sure you like us or friend us. That way you can see the latest pictures, events, and of course, news items that we publish to Twitter. Most of the time when we have a guest speaker, when school resumes, we try to do a Facebook Live so that those of you that are friends of the school can also see the event from your home or from your office. So please take advantage of that. I know there's tons of questions. I'll be happy to answer them. My email is pretty simple. It's just msoto, S as in Sam, O-T-O, @cps.edu. I try to do my best to make sure I can answer your questions. Feel free to contact me if something is not clear. And thank you for hanging in there this morning and taking advantage of this student orientation. I'll pass it back to you, Ms. Botari.
Mr. Soto, thank you, and thank you for your help coordinating today's event. I think we have some really important information that was shared. And Mr. Soto, thank you for presenting all of the technology information. And again, thank you to our parents and Ms. Melton, Ms. Davis, Ms. Ovram for presenting all of this information. Again, most of this information will be posted as we move along with the school year so that you can see this, and this presentation will be posted as well. So in case you missed it or you missed something on today's recording, you can hear it again. So again, thank you. So next we want to move on. We wanted you to hear a little bit from our parents, current parents, and also from our students about their experience and transition to Whitney Young, some of the things that they've taken advantage of in Whitney Young. What are they involved in? You know, what advice do they have for you? So I think we will start with our parents first. So Ms. Chin and Ms. Boki-Graven, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves again and talking to students and parents a little bit about your experience at Whitney Young and your transition, and then we will move on to our students who are with us. We have Joya Canning, Cole Chin, Naya Lambert, Tova Kaplan, and then Eddie Armstrong will also briefly talk about their experience. So Ms. Chin, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi again, everyone. Again, my name is Arlene Chin, and I have rising sophomore Cole, who's with me today, and then also Jackson, who is a rising junior. Just some things as far as transition to help with being successful in the high school setting. You will kind of learn that that parent involvement is a little bit different. We're not in the classrooms, we're not in the school as often, but the one thing that I feel is important as far as transition is helping your child advocate for themselves. So typically teachers want to hear from the student if the student is struggling or if the student needs help. It's most important, what I have found was that it's most important to help support your child in advocating for themselves. Also, the tools that Mr. Soto outlined, I feel like I log into mobile ID, pretty often, because you'll find your teacher's email addresses, their schedules, which I'm always forgetting what their schedules look like, any student fees. That's a tool that he has, I believe he created himself, and I found very, very helpful. And then lastly, the weekly. I know that they can sometimes be long and there's a lot of information, but there's no better way to kind of tap into what's going on as far as daily life in the school than to read the weekly and learn about accomplishments of different groups, things that are coming up, etc. And on the Whitney Young website, there is actually a Google Calendar that you can subscribe to if you keep a Google Calendar, and I keep that on my account. So all these different tools are just different ways. It doesn't mean that you won't have access to what's going on a day-to-day basis at Whitney Young, but there's just different ways that we can tap into. And again, like just really the biggest thing is help your kid advocate for themselves, because there's no better lesson that they can learn coming out of high school, and especially going into college, than to really, work with their teachers on things that they need help on. Miss Boki-Graven, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I think that was very well said, Arlene. Just as a reminder, my name's Kristen. I have had 2 kids go through Whitney Young, a son and a daughter, and they both started in 7th grade. So they had a long tenure at Whitney Young. And I feel like if there's one piece of advice or one thing that I have learned, it's that even though Whitney Young is a pretty big school, it's also very nurturing. The teachers really care about the students and their well-being and their success. And so I think that one thing that we can do as parents that I think is hard during this transition is to do what Arlene said and let the students advocate for themselves. Now is not the time to be a helicopter parent. It's time to watch your child grow into himself or herself. And the best way to do that is to let go a little bit. It's hard to not check your students' grades all the time, but that can also be stressful to them. Sometimes, I've heard over the years a student getting a text message from their parent who was upset about a grade when the student didn't even know that they had that grade yet. And I think you just have to look at the big picture, and one grade isn't going to make or break a student. They need to learn from all those experiences. So that is my advice to you. And then I just wanted to reiterate a couple things that I was cut off because my technology failed me this morning. And I just want to invite you all to our first LSC meeting, which is at 3:30 on September 17th, which is a Thursday. We tried to plan it so it was right before the school's parent night, which starts at 5:30. And that's the night when you get to meet all of your students' teachers. You follow their schedule from class to class, and it's really interesting, and you won't want to miss that. So I hope to see you at the LSC meeting also, and I really would love to meet you all in person once we're all back together again.
Again, thank you so much, Ms. Chin and Ms. Boki-Graven. I also want to give them another thank you, because they are 2 of the easiest people to work with. Not only do they support our school community, but they also support me. And anytime I ask them for help, or I ask if they're willing to present to the parents, they always say yes. They never hesitate to say yes. So I want to thank you both for all of the support that you provide. And parents, again, if you have any questions, they are really great resources. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. So thank you. All right, now I want to switch over to the students, and I think I'm going to try to go youngest to oldest, so you can kind of see and hear the progression of their transition at Whitney Young, and maybe some of the programs that they've and clubs and activities that they've taken advantage of through the years. So we will start with Tova Kaplan. Tova, if you're on and you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tova Kaplan, and I'm a rising junior at Whitney Young High School. So just a few things I wanted to talk about is, first of all, I just wanted to say congrats to all of you on this call for making it this far. This has been an absolutely insane year, and I'm genuinely proud of all of you for not only making it into a great school in the midst of a crazy time, but graduating from elementary school is a huge achievement, and you should be really proud of yourself when moving into this next chapter. One big piece of advice that I have when you're entering this school is don't go through it alone. A big problem that a lot of students have is they feel like they have to just do everything themselves. They have to take the entire burden of this new experience on themselves. We're all like gifted students, and a big problem with gifted students is that we feel like we can't ask for help. that if we ask for help, it's admitting weakness in some way, or we have to do it on our own. And I just want to say that do not have that mindset. It will not help you at all when you're going into this school. So a much healthier mindset to have is, yes, you should aim for the best. You should aim to be independent and capable, but also please don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Whitney Young has a lot of amazing resources for that. We have a math center, a writing center, also reaching out to your teachers. I've never reached out to a teacher and had them turn me away from help. You'll find that your teachers are really excited to help you and totally willing to do that. Reach out to your counselors. Ms. Melton, if you're on here, and Ms. Batari also, they've been amazing in the transition, and they're really here to help you. Also, just socially, don't go through it alone. I know that's hard in the age of social distancing, but there'll still be a lot of opportunities for you to join clubs. That's a great way to get to know friends and people who share similar interests. Also, I would say try to connect with some incoming freshmen, maybe on social media, start talking to them, maybe find people who you can call during your lunch period and talk to. Just find ways that you can get connected to other people so that you don't have to go through this year alone. Whitney Young students, I think, are just a really special breed of student. Like, you'll find that it's a really supportive and nurturing community. I found that Whitney Young students are so passionate about what they do. I was so worried that everyone would be hyper competitive because it's so hard to get in. But I found that Whitney Young students generally are so much more cooperative than we are competitive. Like, we all are very passionate about our interests, but totally willing to help each other, lift each other up. Some of my friends and peers have been the greatest resources for me when going through high school. So please, I just wanted to briefly say, reach out to anyone you need to, reach out to freshman mentors if you need to, just find people to surround yourself with, and you're gonna have a great year, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Tova. That was so helpful. And students and parents, I just want you to know you have some of the best students on today talking to you and giving you advice. So Tova, thank you. Next, I'd like to call Cole Chin. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your...
Yeah, sure. My name is Cole. I'm on the cross country and track team. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about my transition into my freshman year. So I know that it may be really frightening, or you may be scared coming to your freshman year, especially in this time when we're quarantined. But my biggest thing that I probably learned in my freshman year is to be outgoing and never be afraid to take that extra step, because I know it may be hard for maybe you to go out there and make yourself well known and get involved with other things like athletics and clubs, but I can guarantee you that if you do those extra steps and you take those extra lengths, it will be very rewarding. I know that joining the cross country and track team that I have gotten many friends. I've gotten to know the school better. I've gotten to represent the school, and overall getting more involved with the school has helped me tremendously with just being a part of the school as well. With that being said, being courageous and most importantly, being yourself inside of the school might be the most important aspect of high school. And getting to know yourself more by joining those clubs, joining those extracurricular stuff, will help you in life and generally. Overall, I think that just try to be yourself and try to reach out to others. Also get as much involved as you can and never be too afraid to do other things.
Cole, thank you. That was great advice. Thank you so much for being on today. Next, I'd like to call back Joya Canning. Again, she is one of the exec board members of our freshman mentor organization, but we also want to ask her to give a little bit about her experience at Whitney Young so far.
Hi, again, I'm Joya Canning. I am the Secretary of Freshman Mentors, and I'm also involved in the Young Company and Science Olympiad, and I have also been involved in soccer in the past. I didn't really join a lot my freshman year until the spring, so I would definitely recommend, I know some other people have mentioned it, but definitely becoming involved in the community in really any way you can will really make it easier because you'll find friends who have similar interests as you. And again, just finding a lot of opportunities throughout the years. I joined a lot of different clubs and events, and just becoming involved in a bunch of different things really helped me find my own interests and people who share them. So I think that's really important for everyone to do. I also want to mention that I know Whitney Young can be a little overwhelming, especially when you're taking such hard classes and people are, it's not a competitive environment, but people definitely have strong goals, and it's hard to feel like you can match them sometimes. So I really want to say, just remember that you're always doing the best you can, and make sure to take some time for yourself. So while school is important, it's not the most important thing, and focus on your mental health and find things that you genuinely love doing, because that's what's going to help you get through your 4 years. Thank you.
Joya, thank you. Those are really great words. Thank you so much. And now we move on to our senior students. I want to bring on Naya Lambert, who is also the student representative for the local school council, and also a very active member of our school community. Naya?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Nia Lambert, and I'm a rising senior, which is very surreal to say because I remember being in your shoes 3 years ago. So at first, like many freshmen, I was very, very nervous to attend Whitney Young, although when I got there, many students and staff are very welcoming, and it was easy to make new friends. And I do struggle being a shy person, but Whitney Young really brings you out of that box, and you find so many different people. So Whitney Young has been a very rewarding experience for me, and I'm very glad I made the choice to attend. So during my time at Whitney Young, I didn't participate in sports, although Whitney Young led me to start my own nonprofit organization that focuses on women empowerment and climate justice. And so without my freshman year biology class and my teachers pushing me to continue in what I want to do, I wouldn't have got that experience. And along with that, as Ms. Batari said, I serve on the local school council, which focuses on budgeting and planning and academics. So, and when it comes to resources, as Joya said, you make sure you reach out and get the help you need. When young, everyone's smart and everyone has big goals, so it can be really hard sometimes to focus on yourself. So I really utilize the social worker, the counselor, my teachers to help me through those times. And it really teaches you to be an advocate for yourself, because sometimes your parent cannot email your teacher to get you help. You have to do that yourself. And trust me, you are not the first student that comes to them and needs help on a math problem or is feeling stressed out. And to talk about homework a little bit, I didn't think the homework load was that much coming from a competitive elementary school, but homework is different for everyone because everyone is enrolled in a different class. So for me, I would say the average homework time I spent was 2 hours and then an hour studying, but time management is really important so that you're not doing 5 hours of homework a night. So in the end, Whitney Young is a very unique experience, and I'm glad you made the choice to attend. I know this is not a typical way to start your Whitney Young journey, but trust me, you will enjoy it, and I'm so excited to see you all take your path, and go Dolphins.
Thank you, Nia. That was great. And lastly, we have Eddie Armstrong. So Eddie, if you just want to give some words of advice or maybe some things we didn't cover, if you want to close us out before the last part of our presentation.
Okay. Hi guys, once again, I'm Eddie. This is personally my 4th time at freshman orientation. I went to freshman orientation myself, and I've been a member of Freshman Mentors for 3 years. I'm a part of the academic decathlon team. I've been a part of the extended student council. I've done just about everything there is to do at Whitney Young. And what I can say from that is that discussion we had about being a holistic student really does come from within. I've had amazing support throughout the years. Personally, from Dr. Kenner, she's been great. Our school psychologist, Ms. Rosner, has been amazing, and my counselors have been very beneficial to me too. So it's important that you like reach out during your 4 years and become somebody that the administration knows, that the teachers know, that they know that they can like contact you and talk to you and check up on you. And it's important to find your group. It's important to be involved as much as possible, but also having like, I have a small group of friends that I wouldn't trade for anybody in the world, and I think that's like really important to like find. Um, Something I've always had a problem with is time management. So I really think you guys should like really focus on not stretching yourselves too thin, because as freshmen you can feel like you have to do everything all at once. I played football my freshman year and never did an athletic sport again. A lot of people feel like they have to do a sport, they have to do a club, they have to do this, they have to do that. And I can say that my academic sport, academic decathlon, just won state this past year. So you find what you're meant to do. Everything doesn't have to come all at once, and that's an important thing. I think that everybody from Tova to Nia all have like different involvements and all have had a very different like path to like being that the students they are now. And I feel like you guys need to internalize that and realize that everything will come in stride. You'll find your pace, you'll find your people, you'll find like your involvement. And once you're a dolphin, you'll always be a dolphin. Like you'll never forget these times, you'll never forget these people. And I just really think that you guys will do amazing. And I'm really happy to see all of you because I am somebody who strives to know everybody's name. So if you don't feel like you can talk to anybody else in the building, literally stop me. I was going to say in the hallway, but that'll be for a later time. Feel free to pop out of like e-learning and send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. And I hope you all have an amazing time at Whitney Young.
Eddie, thank you. And thank you, Eddie and Joya, for all of your hard work putting together freshman orientation and connection, and for contacting students, and to our other student speakers, Cole and Tova. Thank you again. And Nia, thank you again for taking time to speak to the students. And hopefully you will see them soon in person. So to everyone who presented today, thank you. Our students are truly superstars, and I am honored today to introduce our superstar, Dr. Kenner. She has been principal for 26 years. She is the longest serving principal in CPS. She is our mentor. She's my mentor. She is a principal that will come to your house, play with your children, and pull your weeds, you guys. She does that. She has this little tool in her trunk, and she just starts pulling weeds. She is the best ever. Although we can't feel her energy in person, I know that you're going to feel it on the screen today. And I am so happy, Dr. Kenner, that you are here to join us. And the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Ms. Botari. So I want everybody on this call to just kind of loosen up a little bit, loosen up for the next 10 minutes. I know you have been hearing from a lot of people, but I want to make sure that my comments resonate. So everybody, are you listening? Students, are you listening? I am ready to rock and roll. I know it looks a little funny, like, God, where is she? Well, I'm in a car. I'm coming back from St. Louis. It was a wonderful little mini trip that I took with two of my great friends, and so I wanted to be able to make this presentation, so we are making it work. So I just want everybody to focus in on me and my comments for like 10 minutes, and then we will let you guys go. First of all, I want to say I believe this in my heart, and I will always believe it. Whitney Young by far is the best school in the world. Not in the city, not in the state, but in the world. Eddie, thank you so much for that shout out. I appreciate it. I love my students. And I would say 99% of the students believe that. We have some issues, I get that, but I want you guys to be able to share with me what those issues are. Don't just talk in your small groups and say, oh, she didn't support us, she did this. I need to hear from you. Those students that you heard from today, I feel like I'm close to them, they're able to share with me issues, and we collectively are able then to resolve those. We have some superstar students, we have some superstar faculty members and support personnel. I'm not sure if Ms. Graven is still on the call, but our LSC members, our president, Ms. Graven, thank you so much for all that you do. Ms. Arlene Chin, who is a superstar. She is our Friends of Whitney Young chairperson. Thank you for all that you do. And then I'm not sure how many administrators are on the call, but I see Ms. Overham, I see Ms. Davis, I see Mr. Soto. I'm sure Mr. Swanson is there. And then the last person I want everybody to meet because he's new, but he's back. I stole him from the University of Chicago. He was at Whitney Young from 2004 to 2010. He left us to become a principal, worked at another school, worked at lab school. He was our dean, and we stole him back. Mr. Harris, it's my honor to give you just a few seconds to say hello to everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Hey there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so good to be back at Whitney Young. As Dr. Kenneth said, I was here. I left for a little while and glad to be back. And we're very quick. I just want to give you a quick tip, TIP. As Dr. Kenneth mentioned, we want to make this the best school experience you have. So tell us, the T is for tell us what you need to make this the best school experience. The I, invite somebody else to come to a club or an activity. Let's continue to build this Whitney Young community and keep it going. And the P is give yourself permission to pause and reset when you need it. We all need that time to kind of regroup and reset. So I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in person when we get that opportunity. And thank you again, and good to see everybody. Have a great day.
Oh, Mr. Harris, I love that. And one person I forgot, how could I forget? Ms. Botari is amazing. I've been over her house twice. She has 3 children, the cleanest house you ever want to see. She had a couple of weeds in her yard, so I had to get those weeds out so everything can be pristine. But Ms. Botari, thank you so much for all that you do. Students, now listen, students, I'm asking you a question. What kind of experience do you want to have at Whitney Young? I'm going to ask you again, and I really want you to think about the question. What kind of experience do you want to have at Whitney Young for your 4 years? Now, that's an important question. You can kind of just go through the motions, do your work, do nothing, and that be your experience. Or you could be a great student, get involved, come down and say, Dr. Kenner, I need you to write this letter or recommendation for this college to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, FAMU, Hampton, Howard, wherever you want to go. So you guys make up your mind today that this is going to be the best experience that you have. I get it that we're in a pandemic. I hate it. And I'm glad that I went to St. Louis to just take some time off from what I was doing. But you guys, we have to make the best of this situation. We are in it. I understand it. But when we start remote learning, you guys get engaged, be engaged with your teachers, do the best that you can, get the grades that we know that all of you should be able to get, and then get involved. We're going to have our clubs and organizations and our extracurricular activities, our sports. Get involved in something. Everybody, listen, everybody should select at least one activity per quarter. So if you're in a Polish club, okay, that's your one activity. If you're in the Spanish club, that's your one activity. If you're on the track team, that's your one activity. But guys, we have to begin to build our residence letters written. You guys will have something to say. You guys, I love to have fun. And everybody will tell you we have the best pep rallies, we have the best dances, we have the best of everything. And I know the teachers are probably going to get a little mad at me, but we are going to celebrate more than once when we get back together as a group. We're going to run around the building and cheer and have pom-poms. when we are all able to come back together. So trust me, the teachers are going to be mad at me, but a couple of days, we are going to take the time to celebrate. Parents, I'm talking to you right now. Every single child needs a cell phone. And students, if you don't have a cell phone and you get one because of this conversation, I want lunch that first week of school. Oh, I'm just kidding. But parents, I believe in every child being able to communicate with someone in the event of an emergency. So if possible, let's get everybody a cell phone. Again, bullying is somebody. I'm going to go ballistic. And that's the honest to God truth. If you don't like somebody, keep your mouth shut, just keep it moving. Selection of friends. You guys, find those students that are in the library studying, in the corner on the floor studying, in the lunchroom studying as your focal group. Don't look at the kid with the new Michael Jordan gym shoes or the new Louis Vuitton bag or the new Prada shoes. Hey, you guys do what you are supposed to academically so we can go to the school of our choices. Now, I know that all of you have heard about the incidents that occur at Whitney Young. Whitney Young is a very public school. It's a nationally recognized school, and anything that happens at Whitney Young, we are news. I don't care about that. My point to this is I have an open door policy. If you have an issue, you need to come down to my office and say something. You might say, oh my God, I'm so afraid to go down. If you are afraid, then bring your friend with you. If you are really afraid, then bring your whole posse with you. I just need to know what the issues are. Don't ever say, she doesn't care, she didn't listen to me, if I don't know what the issues are. The other important part is, you guys, I'm not going to agree with everything that you want me to agree upon. But I swear to you that I will give you a forum to be expressive and to share with me whatever those concerns are. Last two things. Involvement to build your resume. You guys, we have to build that resume. Even with this whole pandemic, it's going to look different with selection of schools. Are they selecting you for a particular college? That's going to look different in 4 years because it's not the same as it was last year. The colleges are going to ask, who are you? Well, what's your name? Who are you? What were you involved in? You are going to have to be able to articulate what you've been involved in. I was a member of the student council. I was a president of a French club. I played soccer. You need to be able to go on and on and on, because if they have two candidates, academically, everybody has a 4.2, they're going to look for the student who has been involved. You guys, congratulations to the parents. You guys have done your job, but don't do this. We're not done. This is the beginning. I need your help, your involvement. Email me. I respond to everybody. Just don't curse at me, because if you curse at me, I'm going to curse back, and we're just going to have a cursing match. So just email me, Dr. Kenner, this didn't look right. It didn't sound right. This teacher didn't do this. We didn't respond. I promise you, I will respond immediately to make sure that you have been heard. Students, did you hear me? I can't hear you. Did you hear me? Parents, did you hear me? One more time. Parents, did you hear me? This is a wonderful community that you guys are going to absolutely love. Organized community, involved community, and you have some superstars in terms of the students and the adults that are in the building. Take advantage of us. You are never asking a stupid question. It's stupid when you don't ask the question. So please ask the question so that we can give you an immediate response and that you have all the tools you need to be a successful student. This is beginning in September 8th or on September 8th, my 26th year as principal of the building. I can't believe that. I still love it. I still am energized to do the work. I just need you guys to do your part and make sure that you stay focused, continue to be a good student, be involved, and the rest, we're going to be able to get past this. Guys, the pandemic of 1918, it was over eventually. This pandemic will be over eventually, and we will get back to some form of normalcy. It is my
Bruh.
She's trying to. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Dr. Kenner. Thank you to Dr. Kenner. Thank you to all of our leadership team members for speaking. Thank you, students. We want to thank all of you for being here. We know we had a minor technical glitch. We're working through it. We're going to post this on our website. I will email it out to you. Students, parents, thank you for trusting us. We know that this isn't an easy time, but this is going to be a great year. You are at a great school. This is going to be a great experience for you. We are excited to start the school year. We hope you enjoy the remainder of your summer. We hope you enjoy the remainder of your summer. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. You know that I'm on my email often. And again, enjoy. Welcome to Whitney Young, and go Dolphins. Thank you, everyone.